Innovating Education Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.
Closing the digital divide has become a major challenge in today's internet world. We go to Argentina, Portugal and Brazil to explore how the gap is being bridged. In this week's program, how age and distance barriers are being broken to catch up with the internet age. In Argentina, the government aims to provide internet equality to its people by supplying the tools they need. It has recently distributed netbooks in public schools, particularly in the rural areas. Now, the lucky teachers and students have a chance to experience new learning techniques that were, until recently, out of reach.
Last year, in Argentina, the government distributed nearly 1.8 million netbooks to people in education. Most of the recipients live in remote rural regions and never dreamed of becoming part of the modern digital world.
My father's a lorry driver and my mother is a housewife. We stay here and look after the animals. Thanks to the children, now I'm learning. They teach me. Are computers important for a good education? Really, really important. They can do and learn lots of things with a computer. Things I couldn't do.
Here, they only received their netbooks 3 months ago, and already the teachers and pupils have begun to use and explore this new tool in class.
We're installing internet on the netbooks. This is Google, and if I want today's news...
You put news for...
The United States and who?
Argentina.
Very good. They start looking for the machine's other functions all by themselves. They explore the machine. Sometimes in other contexts, like here, we can't buy a machine. The fact of having them at school means it brings equality, equity to all the country's institutions.
Learning to use a computer is fun, but also vital in the modern world. With this scheme, pupils who complete secondary school successfully can keep their computers.
Boosting internet literacy is one idea being promoted in Portugal to close the traditional gap between generations. In Porto, senior citizens are being encouraged to hook up to the web. It gives them a chance to prove they are not old-fashioned and an opportunity to combat loneliness through social networks.
This church in Porto, in Portugal, doesn't only look after the spiritual needs of its parishioners, it also aims to get senior citizens online.
Learning how to send emails, use Facebook and other platforms like Skype means that distances between people are lessened, and especially the gap between grandparents and grandchildren is closed.
Most of the people here are discovering the internet when they're already well into their 70s.
Ora, hoje vamos falar de uma matéria muito interessante e que, para alguns de vocês, representa mesmo o primeiro passo. Vamos falar então do Facebook.
Os meus netos têm muita preocupação em que eu saiba. Eu tenho 4.
My grandchildren were very keen for me to learn. I have 4 of them, from 12 to 15 years old. They want to teach me. They want me to understand. But they're impatient because they think I should already know things.
Mas têm muito pouca paciência, porque eles acham que eu já devia saber muito mais.
Rodrigo, pelo facto de ver...
Both Rodrigo's mother and father work with computers. But we, his grandparents, didn't have one, so he didn't want to come to our house. One day, he was asked, why don't you want to go to your grandparents' house? Because they don't have a computer. So I decided to stop being ignorant about computers.
Vou deixar de ser ignorante no que diz respeito à informática.
And now, for many of these people, life has changed.
À noite, eu, em vez de ver televisão...
In the evenings, instead of watching TV, I'm on the internet watching the news or other videos.
A ver vídeos.
Facebook,
Orkut, Wikipedia, the waves, the sand, the clouds. The computer gives me everything through the internet. I've been searching, and it's really wonderful because I spend about 4 or 5 hours a day on the net.
The European Commission has designated 2012 as the year of active ageing. Learning new computer skills is part of the project.
A Brazilian government project has managed to bring the internet to some of the most isolated and remote people in the world, the tribes of the Bahia state. Indigenous people of all ages living deep in the rainforest now have access to modern learning in a place where time seems to be frozen.
Here, in this remote part of Brazil, life hasn't changed for centuries. Except for one thing, a new class in computer skills.
All these buttons, all this, all these words appear. I didn't know where to start, where to finish. So it was a mess at the beginning. It still is. You can never learn everything, but I can turn it on, connect to the net, Google things, send a message. I can do that.
The aim is to try and end isolation by using new technology, and it's working. They're using the website Indios Online to communicate with the world and with other indigenous tribes across Brazil.
In Brazil, indigenous tribes are marginalised and ignored by the mainstream. They're invisible, forgotten, as if they belong to a different social class. And technology allows them to show Brazil and the rest of the world who they are, how they live, and their daily reality.
The people here are eager to tell their stories on the internet. Even older generations are at ease using the web.
I don't think the impact has been such a great surprise, because of course they had already heard about the internet, or seen it, or they knew it existed, but they hadn't had the chance to use it.
Você pega esse aí. Macia. Devagar, né? Não tinha cara, não tinha essas caras aqui tudo. Aqui era lixão.
We're showing the world who we are. We're saying that we exist, that we use technology, that we're learning, and that we want to show the world that we can use technology as well as preserving our culture.
As we've just seen, the internet is reaching almost everyone and everywhere. What's your experience of the digital divide? You can share your ideas on our social media pages. Well, that's it. See you again next week.
Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.